Okay, here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this podcast. My name is Rita Egidio. And again, we are bringing the best coaches in the world to have a nice chat. How are you doing, my dear?
I'm good, Rita. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm super excited. I always ask my guests to tell who they are, why they are here, what is their why. So please take the microphone out of me and just go and do it.
Oh, you're so kind. Okay, so my name is Sherri Kozubal. Oh gosh, I started out wanting to help people a long, long time ago. So I started off in the medical piece of it, with like the physical, helping people in a physical sort of way as a respiratory therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for probably, it was coming up 26 years or so now.
Wow.
And then I got into sleep as well. So I've been doing, I'm a registered sleep technologist as well. And that's where I kind of fell in love with the brain and what the brain can do. So when you're sitting in a sleep lab late at night and you can watch people's brain activity going, you can see them dreaming. Oh, it was just, yeah, it was the beginning of a beautiful relationship with me and neuroscience. So,
oh my God.
yeah.
I had such struggle to sleep for so long, and I'm still like trying to understand my this night. I am okay. I have been creating a lot, and I'm this kind of people who, when it's in creating mode, my brain kicks me out of the bed at most weird times. And I used to fight a lot and be very, unhappy with it, but I just embrace it now. So 2 days
Yes.
ago, 2 days ago, you wake me up at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And yes, this night you wake me up at 4 and I start working. And to be honest, I understand my brain now in a way, and I understand that sometimes you don't need to sleep 8 hours or 6, and sometimes you sleep 2 hours and you feel fresh.
Yep.
And other times you sleep 10 hours and you feel then it's like track went against you. Another interesting thing is I used to track my sleep with a Fitbit. And in the moment then I stop tracking my sleep, I start sleeping more.
Oh my gosh, totally.
Yeah.
Because the focus was on how little you were getting. You were looking, or did I get enough? Did I get enough? And that's where the problem is, right? When you stop trying so hard, that's when sleep comes.
Yeah.
That's when sleep comes. Your body will give you what you need when you need it. And I agree. It's an interesting thing you say, because you say you're creating a lot, right? So when you're sleeping, you're in different brain activity states, which is very, very cool. And this is what got me into hypnotherapy, because when you have that sort of transition from wake to sleep, it's stage 1 sleep, right? We can actually get there as we're driving, zoning out.
Oh yeah.
Right? So if you've ever been in a car and you're like, how did I get from here to here?
Yes. Do certain tasks, like driving is a big one. Like totally, like you don't remember.
Hypnosis. That's hypnosis, and that is stage 1 sleep. So alpha into theta. Yeah.
I'm very into what you do. And I'm shaking the world on a different, like last year. So I teach digital influence. That is my core thing. Yes, so I amplify the abilities of people who are successful and with gifts. I like to say this, and especially women. I'm very focused on women. And I want to say this because I don't work with people who don't know what gift they have. They have a gift, but they don't know. That is not for me. I'm just like the correct arm for people who get stuck on technology. You have a certain 25, 30 plus, and they're teaching many times what you teach, the values of your go against of your values about social media. So that is my job. My job is finding a way to tell your story without feeling the discomfort of posting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Make it like a superior. But last year, during the process, I had this idea to bring tapping for the anxiety of posting. And I did a challenge with viral mindset for social media. And I would love to invite you for us to do something together about it, because I'm into all, I believe I'm a master in NLP. So I learned a lot about it. I'm doing a certification in EFT now. And I really want to marry these technical things where I can teach you how to get 3 times more comments, but at the same time, how you are going to look to that comments in a way that uplifts you instead of bringing you down. I always say I teach social media, but in reality, I teach mindset. So I'm listening to you and I'm saying, I cannot leave you without, I know we are recording, but I want you to be sure that I want to talk with you after, because I have great ideas.
That would be wonderful.
Tell me more about exactly what do you coach and what is about. Like, imagine that I arrive to you. What are the problems then? What is the transformation? What are the problems? There's many questions at the same time, but you understand what I mean.
That's okay. Yeah. So I think you nailed it with one word. It's a transformation, but the focus is on mindset shift, right? And exactly what you said there, a lot of people coming into my chair, they know exactly what they don't want really, really well. Really well. I don't want to drink so much. I don't want to be heavy anymore. I don't want to be unhappy with just going through the motions in my life. And I want to have friends, but I don't have any friends and they don't know why, right? And so the focus is on the negative, and it's just because this is what I do is I use a little bits of cognitive behavioral therapy. I love NLP work. I'm with you there, sister. Oh my gosh. The transformations I see with people, because a lot of times what I'll do, let's say somebody comes in and they go, I just want to feel successful. I want to be successful. I want to let's say
I want to stop you, because that is something then he's coming to me a lot in the last couple of weeks. I want to tell you something and I want you to tell me what you think about it.
Sure. Yeah.
I was listening to someone that I love saying that I was very frustrated because in the last 5 years, he was starting all these projects and all these things, and he could never finish anything. And he went and he moved and he keeps going on the same patterns, and he's doing kind of a monologue. I'm letting him speak. And then on the end, he say, I will never be successful. And I said, sorry, you have been the most successful person I ever did listen to. Yeah. You have been successful, consistent, failing in things, consistently starting and not ending. That is as well success.
Yeah.
Sorry to say it, because when they come to you, they are very successful.
Totally. It's just they've been successful in not completing.
Inconsistent way.
Yeah.
Constantly not.
Yeah. And so they just don't understand that they're not focusing on the right things. So it's about, and when you ask someone, well, what do you want? Well, I don't want to be tired all the time. Well, okay, what do you want? I want sleep. Well, why do you want sleep? And they look at me like, well, what is sleep? I see where you're going. Right? What is sleep to you? Because what it means to me, like if you were to ask me, Sherri, why do you want sleep? I'm like, well, because I'm a doer and I want to get this done and that done and whatever. The next person might be, well, I get brain fog if I'm not like that. The next person might be, well, I'm worried I'm going to die early because, my
not enough sleeping.
Yeah, there's so many things, right? So the last thing I do is try to decide for somebody why they should have sleep. I want to find out, like, well, if sleep is so important, what is it? And a lot of times they've put an idea in their subconscious mind. Like, let's say somebody said to them,
you need to sleep 8 hours a day. That is a very, many people really deeply believe they need to sleep 8 hours.
Totally. And it's so wrong. That's so wrong. Yeah. I mean, so, okay, you have your averages, right? You got your 7 to 9 hours is where they like to see people. If you're in North America, they want to see you sleeping from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., right? And then you don't siesta during the day, and you're going to do all your 8 hours in one shot. And if you don't get that, then you're going to get overweight and anxious and not be able to concentrate on anything. And then you go to South America, and they're eating at 10 o'clock at night. They're going to bed late. They get 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and then they might have a 2-3 hour nap during the day when it's hot. And those people's, their morbidity mortality rates are better than ours.
It's so funny.
So, you know,
sleeping is something really fascinating. I was really impressed where my sleeping went after I stopped beating me up for the sleeping.
Yeah.
I found this, it's interesting because I was having a conversation the other day about drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
And I have a theory, then part of the addiction don't comes from the drug or the alcohol, it comes from beating yourself up for the next day. So,
but why? Right?
Yeah, why? And what was funny because I was having this constantly, and I'm a doer as well, and I'm a higher achiever. And believe me, I can be very successful with things that you don't want to be, right? Yeah. The same power is there.
Totally.
So when I go crazy, I go crazy. It's believe me, it's a hardcore story. I don't know how I'm still alive. That is another story. But
that's what makes you a good coach.
Yes. Right? But the thing was, one day I wrote, because I have been struggling with anxiety and panic attacks.
Yeah.
And not so long ago.
Yeah.
Now I have Xanax if I need, but I'm talking about hardcore panic attacks, sweating. I'm out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And normally it was coming at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. All 4 a.m. I woke up and you have this feeling then someone is coming to kill you. Yeah. And I start writing letters of intention for myself. Say, I forgive you if you wake up at 4 because your anxiety is there for one reason. Your body is there serving you for you to change something in your life. Yeah. So you are going to be kind and generous with yourself, and you are going to understand, forgive, and embrace whatever your body is saying. Yeah. And when I start doing that,
you reframed it.
I reframe.
Yeah,
that's so interesting.
Yeah, reframing is that's the core of hypnotherapy. Just reframing perspective.
That is the connection between NLP and hypnosis, right? We all talk about reframing.
Yeah, reframing I love because it's like being able to take yourself out of your body, being an ultimate observer, right? Mm-hmm. One of my favorite techniques.
Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza is always Joe Dispenza. Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yes.
The space behind you. Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I love him. Seriously, epigenetics, neuroplasticity. Oh my gosh. I
love him, but his meditations are slightly too long for me.
Yeah, it's his pattern. So when we talk to people in hypnotherapy, you have to talk certain ways to certain people. Mm-hmm. He has a very hardcore, paternal pattern, sit up straight and do this. And
I have this, the space behind. But the funny thing is, my boyfriend is Mexican. Yep. And so we do the meditation of the morning and the night.
Yeah.
And we do it in Spanish. What is the guy was doing in Spanish is slightly more chill than Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yeah.
The funniest thing the other day is the night one, he starts by sit up straight. And as soon as you say it, I'm laying down on the bed and I'm gone. I'm gone. But
it makes sense because your body, like we train the body, the brain is it recognizes patterns. So even body position will put you, you'll bypass all of that and go straight into sleep. You'll go into alpha. Yeah, alpha. Yeah. So what you were talking about with the panic attacks there was the high beta. That's like high beta frequency. The really interesting thing, what Joe Dispenza works with is gamma, which is just above. So there's like low beta, medium, and high, and then there's gamma. And gamma kind of reminds me of like REM sleep. So REM sleep is like, it's not like any other sleep. It's if you look at the frequency, it's much slower, it's irregular. Everything about REM is irregular. And one of my favorite theories about how the brain works in sleep, there's non-REM sleep and there's REM sleep. Non-REM sleep is amazing stuff. So your brain takes in stuff all day, right? So all the senses, all the thoughts, everything. Our whole purpose is to adapt to the environment and not die the next day, right?
Yes.
So think caveman style, right? So everything we've taken in during the day in non-REM sleep is quickly sorted for quick, easy retrievable. So memory, concentration, all that stuff, okay? REM sleep is about filtering the emotion from the memory, tossing out all the garbage. And I remember sitting in the sleep lab reading this in a textbook one night and just going, wow, it was theory at the time. And then they proved it, Rita. I was like, oh, they proved it. So there's actually these amyloid proteins, and this is what Joe talks about too, is these amyloid proteins. And it's like waste products in the brain that sit in the little synapses. So if you got like this little dendrite here and you got like this other one here, and they're supposed to talk to each other, right? And these little sort of mediators go in between to carry these signals. Well, these proteins sit there and block everything, right? So if we don't get REM, there's no connection, there's incoherence, right? When he found, so REM, what it does, it dumps those metabolites. They actually proved those proteins, metabolites, all the garbage is dumped in REM. So when you're having those crazy dreams about you saving the world or jumping off,
oh my God, yes,
that's REM. Yeah, and it's so necessary. So you can tell your body, thank you.
What is going on when you have that feeling? Then you are falling asleep and you are falling.
Yeah, so that's a hypnic jerk. So
hypnic
jerk. Yeah, I know, isn't it funny?
I was expecting everything out of your mouth now, less that. Okay. So what is going on? Because we have that often when we are teenagers. I remember I had that often.
Yes.
And sometimes it happens to me still.
Yeah. So when you're drifting into sleep, so you're going from beta, right, into alpha, and then you're going into theta and then delta, right, and then REM sleep, which is totally irregular. But kids go from wake to much deeper, like quickly, right? And so what happens is with adults, we have a lot of lighter sleep. We don't get the deep sleep, a lot of the stage 3 sleep that kids do. Human growth hormone comes
They have
there.
no problems.
No. And they're in stage 3 sleep. So it's so deep, nothing wakes them up. Like you can lift up a baby's arm and drop it and it's like out, right? It doesn't care. But so what happens is that your the body is shutting down your muscle control when you're sleeping, when you go into sleep. And so that you don't act out your dreams and hurt yourself. There's actual sleep disorders like sleepwalking, sleep talking, REM behavior disorder, all those things that where the muscle control doesn't drop off like it's supposed to. And people end up hurting themselves and doing weird things in their sleep.
It's so, maybe you have explanation. I have been, not at this moment, but I have been with a very tough 6 months of my life, but it's a long story.
Yeah.
And I found, like 2 weeks ago, I had like a very bad moment in my life. And I started having an issue. Then I was start falling asleep. And when I was falling asleep, I started coughing. But coughing super hard, almost suffocating with coughing. And I did not know what was, but I knew, because I knew before. I had moments in my life then my stress level was so high. Then when I start talking about something that gives me anxiety, I start coughing.
Yeah.
And it's like a nervous cough. So it's like your body wants you to stop. So it prevents you to go to that state.
Yeah.
Do you know what is going on? Like, I'm broken?
No, you're definitely not broken. So when you're like, you've had a really tough thing happen in your life, that's a stress response, right? Fight, flight. So when the body's trying to protect you, it tries to keep you kind of on the lookout when something bad has happened. So it keeps trying to like, see, is there another threat here? Is there another threat here? So your immune response, everything kind of is cut down. Inflammation goes up. It gets ready to run or fight or flight, right? Or hide. Mm-hmm. And so you get all those inflammation sort of pieces going on. Mm-hmm. So the coughing piece of it, it's hard to say. I mean, did you bring stuff up when you were coughing, or was it just dry? Yeah.
No.
So it's probably inflammation. I mean, when people have obstructive sleep apnea, have you ever heard of that?
No.
So it's where people's airway closes while they're sleeping at night. Okay. And it can have, it's worsened when they have stress. So we usually in Canada here, we treat it a lot with something called CPAP. And so they use a mask at night, and pressure and stuff. Yeah. So it keeps the throat open.
But I don't have that anymore. But I think I had that in that times I was snoring, something that I never did.
There you go. Yeah. So when your levels of inflammation are really high from stress, that will narrow the airway. And so it's the coughing. When you, and it sounds like when you you will allow yourself to fall into sleep, you go from here to here really fast. So that's probably part of the issue. I would, like when you're super stressed like that, just try falling asleep on your side. It'll be much better. And keep your airway open better. Yeah.
Okay. I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how long are you a coach? And what do you coach? What kind of people do you coach?
Oh, yeah. So I just started with hypnotherapy in November. I've been training. I know, right? I know. So I've been coaching people in sleep forever because I ended up getting a credential thinking that it was going to probably move this way, and it never did. I was really not impressed with that. But as a sleep technologist, I understood a lot about sleep. And then when I went to go work in the community with helping people with sleep, I got a credential that kind of tied in the diagnostic and the therapeutic piece. So I could help people with, helping them with pathways. But here in Canada, you could only do it one way, and no one was interested in doing it that way. So I was like, okay, not doing that. So that's when I'm like, I need to work with the brain. So that's when I did hypno. So I started at the beginning of the pandemic, which was like awesome to start training something new, right? And I just started that, and it was 16 months of training in the end because of the pandemic. Everything had to go online for a while and then in person. But yeah, I started in November with my certification, and I've just been doing that. So the type of coaching I do, it's CBT based, it's mindfulness. If you think about the Mark Nepos of the world, the Gary Zukovs of the world, the Joe Dispenza. So my technique is about, I use hypnosis with the types of therapies are mindfulness based. It's about retraining the mindset onto the positivity, because as a primitive sort of brain wants us to do, it wants us to look out for all the dangers all the time. And I just remind people that there's no T-Rex chasing them, and there's no reason to be in that stress response.
Sometimes it really feels like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
So, but do you teach people to teach, or do you teach people to, what kind of problems can you transform people's life? And I'm going to pick up water, but I'm listening to you.
Okay. So I think the biggest ones, habits and addictions, are huge, because that's all about people who are looking for, they're looking for meaning, but they're using the physical to try and achieve it. And they don't know what they're missing in the world in general. So they're just going to what either can distract them from what they're missing, or they're, trying to like numb out any sort of pain from trauma. The other one is trauma, of course. You would not believe how much trauma is out there. Like there's so much trauma. And you don't have to be a veteran to have trauma.
No.
There's so many people like abusive. What's that?
I could sell trauma. I have loads of trauma but I always have been like, this is coming back. Your energy remember me a lot. A guest that I had yesterday and a guest I had 2 days ago, and they are now working with me, which is a beautiful thing. But we are talking about the trauma of COVID, not necessarily people lost people or people who had COVID, but in special, as in general, like we fake that everything is okay, and I lost everything and I need to rebuild everything again. And then I took a lot of weird decisions in my life, and we are all still with a mask. We don't hug. I love to hug. I'm a very physical person. I love to kiss and to hug and to say to everyone, oh, I love you, and it feels good for me. So imagine, I have been hugging trees. What I love to hug trees, and more trees I hug. The only thing, sometimes it comes with ants included, ants. So, but extra that, I love to hug trees. Is it weird pleasure in hugging trees?
Yeah. There's an energy for sure. And that's the thing with nature. And if you listen to anything like any of the Eckhart Tolle stuff or any of the Gary Zukov stuff, it doesn't matter what you connect with, just connect with it in nature, because it's giving you that space. It's like giving you that you can just express yourself how you need. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to like have a conversation. You can just be who you are, right? And this is the what we teach, is just reconnecting with who you are. I mean, the space of hypnosis, Rita, have you ever been hypnotized before?
In a light way.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
What did you feel?
What I was doing? No, I don't. I cannot say that's like. I'm always when I was doing my practitioner of NLP.
Yeah.
We had like very cool exercises that we did, but I would love to be. I would love to do that. I would love to go through experience, in a more deep way, because the light way, I feel that I'm in control, and I have no issue to lose control when I trust someone. So I trust you.
Oh, thank you. And you know what? This is the wonderful thing about hypnotherapy. When it's like you say, I had the same thing. That's like I was looking for something more outside of what I was doing right at that point. And I went to a hypnotherapist that I knew, same thing. And I had an experience. It wasn't the experience I thought I was going to have with it, but it was like, oh, there's something there. And so when I looked more, into it, and I met the instructor for the place that I got my certification from, and it was like I'd known her for 1,000 years.
My God, that thing is keeping having, and I'm having this feeling flowing with you. I don't know what is going on with me this week. I know what is going on.
You do.
I have,
That's
I have
yeah. I mean, and we deal with
feeling, you know, and I'm asking to attract women
yeah,
who like you, women with
yeah,
and with a certain age, with a certain experience,
yeah.
and keep getting this, and it makes me so excited because when you understand, then you can create a meditation. And I walk every day in the morning. Today I walk with still night. I'm going to make you a little bit jealous. Wait a second.
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to figure out. Do you see light?
Wow. That's beautiful.
It is what? It's yeah, like this. Okay, you have like
Beautiful.
forest, and so there is
Wow.
trees, and I go and I listen to this business meditation, but it's made by a woman, and she talks about being on your energy, and it's kind of like we are all power witches, you know, but
Yes.
don't call that because,
Yeah.
but we are, and
We're creators. Yeah.
I have been enjoying this. Today I start like I was just seeing a pop-up of, I start calling my women Creatrix, and many women are saying, I don't know that word. It's weird. It's not weird. Many people are using that word. And
Yeah.
the female is creating on your female energy, something for a higher. So I have been doing this meditation where she say I attract to myself beautiful women who have, and
Oh,
it starts happening. And then my only question is, it's like tapping. I'm obsessed with tapping. If I know if I tap, I make more money that day, why I don't tap every day like 10 times?
you know why?
Why?
I figured that one out, Rita. I totally figured it
Oh,
out.
please tell me, because the only secret I have, then I need someone to explain to me, is where goes the socks in a house?
Yeah.
All like the socks is a monster to eat socks. No, it's not possible. I have a question. Where socks go? Like,
I know. You know what's funny is one of the biggest things people come to me with, they go, I want to know what happened when I was 5 years old. I want to know what happened when. And I'm like, I can't tell you that. And I'm not that kind of like, there's hypnotherapists, I'm sure, that will try and do that for you. But the fact is that things happen in your life for a reason. What's
why?
that?
Yeah, explain to me. So if we know a certain behave, reward us in a certain way, a positive one,
Yeah.
why keep repeating the negative ones and not the positive ones? Makes
Yeah. Because
sense.
there's a limiting belief.
Okay.
There's a limiting belief, and it's buried. So
I'm
think of it this way. It's like when we're little, you know, kids, if you were to give a kid a broom and you say, what is this? He'd say, it's a horse, or it's a train, or you know what I mean? That's the creative mind. It's a creative, there's no subconscious fabric. It needs to be built on, right? So we have these experiences, we go through life, and from when you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to where you are now, every time you get a program, you put it in there and it stays there. It doesn't change. It's like an old TV show. It just keeps running in the background.
It's true, then we need 21 days to change a behave.
Yes. So the way, and this is the beautiful thing, is that when you figure out what that limiting belief is, sometimes you can do it if you chunk it down enough and you meditate on it, and it can come up, right? Hypnotherapy just does it faster. We get you into a different brain space, and we ask your subconscious mind to bring it forward. What's the limiting belief that leads to this behavior? And what people can do is they'll end up with this, we'll put them on a timeline and they'll go back to that time. And we use NLP work, which is amazing. So they'll go back to that space. And the beauty about this is not reliving trauma. And this is why I love working with trauma people, because it's not about putting you back in that trauma. I don't want you reliving it. You relive it every day, I'm pretty sure. So let's not do that again. It's just about putting it up on a screen, completely dissociated from you. And you want to watch it as the ultimate observer. Ultimate observer.
Shrink it, right?
What's that? Oh, yes, you can do the swish. Yeah, you can do the swish, but I don't do that. I usually do that before a hypnosis session. When I'm on a timeline with somebody, we actually take that whole thing and we can do different things from it depending on how the person is reacting. We will totally reframe it. So let's say you made a mistake at work, like stupid mistake at work, and you cost yourself a lot of money or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And let's say, okay, let's reframe it. I want you to change that memory to be exactly how it should have gone. So how should it make it perfect? Make it as perfect as you want. So now you make all the right decisions, you're feeling really good, and you have all this. And then I have them compare the two. And what everybody shows me is that if they changed what happened, then they lost a massive lesson. Right. Oh. And the problem wasn't that the thing happened. The problem was that they missed the lesson. And you get hurt from things. People do horrible things. Bad things happen to us. We make assumptions about how we feel, but we're carried that forward and not the lesson. And so all you have going forward is a hurt, blame, shame, guilt, whatever. Guilt is massive. Oh my gosh.
Guilt is a massive addiction.
Yeah. And you know what? It is. It's an addiction to that hormone.
It's a massive addiction. I am 100% sure that my mental issues for anxiety and panic attacks came from keeping myself on a relation where I was deeply unhappy, and part of my brain was so mad with myself. I was so mad. The part of me was so mad and constantly saying, why you don't do it? Like, why you don't go out? And I realized that many times is not what happens to us or for us, like Tony Robbins will say, but is how much, like, because I will never, no, today is much different, but some years ago, I will never have a friend with me hanging out who said to myself half of the things that I say.
Yeah.
And what I start doing now when I'm getting mad with myself is thinking about my daughter and thinking about, if I was seeing my daughter is in this situation, what words did I told her so I can tell the same words to myself?
Yes.
But you
so what you're doing is you're pulling yourself out of that. You're dissociating, right? And instead of looking at eyes of blame and shame and stuckness and no possibility, because it's like Joe says, Dispenza, he's like, when you look at everything from a lens of blame and shame and frustration and anger and guilt, that the perspective is this big, right? Like you can see, it's like if I were able to show you me, right? Like if you're looking at me in that lens, this is how much you're seeing of me, right? Yeah, totally. But when you look at it from a framework of acceptance, understanding, and love, it just goes, right? And so the possibilities, it's a huge thing when people reframe these old situations and you give them that new perspective, then they can look at the old perspective in those shoes. They can actually feel the love, they can feel the acceptance, they can feel the success, they can feel the whatever they needed to be, and then they can see the lessons that they actually required there. And then they leave all the guilt behind, because guilt is huge. If you don't feel guilt, then that means you've learned nothing. If you feel guilt, that means that you've learned the lesson. I should have known better. But
that means it's a lesson in everything, because certain things don't feel certain things you don't feel guilty, and then you feel guilty because you don't feel guilty. It can happen. Like I took a decision to stay in Mexico for a period of time, and that makes me be far away from my family, from my kids. And I was really mad. I really did want to feel bad, but I had a moment on the beginning. I did not feel bad. I was feeling like I really did need to find myself and go in a journey. And then I was feeling bad because I was not feeling bad.
Yeah. Totally makes sense. I think that's called mom syndrome.
Yeah. And the point is, what other people will think about me? And then it's like, what do you think about me? I think about, I didn't need to find myself and protect myself of this mental conflict. Then I was having, then my body arrived to a moment, then giving me anxiety. And hardcore anxiety. And anxiety is something, and I'm about
Anxiety is just generalized fear.
Yeah, but if you live with someone who's having a panic attack and you don't understand them, is the worst thing ever, because they look like you don't want to look insane, but it comes to you like an earthquake or like a tsunami, and you are seeing, and the other person is looking at you like you are crazy.
Oh yeah, it takes over your world. There is no thinking. You're in full fight flight. You may as well be a Tyrannosaurus Rex behind you.
Oh, yes, I always say. I remember a specific day. Then I finally I had the doctor who did give me something like Xanax. I don't know what is the problem. So he told me to take half if I had a panic attack, but I did not know where the pills were. And I wake up and I have anxiety, and I say to who's next to me, I'm having a panic attack. This is 7 a.m. And they say back to me something like, oh, you are just waking up, chill. And that chill, like, blows me.
Yeah.
You know, it's
you know what, the only thing you have in moments like that are your basics. You have your heartbeat and you have your breath, right? And the trick is to set up a trigger that will remind you when you have a panic attack to go back to your breath, because 3 deep breaths in and out in a slow way through your nose will bring you right back out of it. It's a parasympathetic.
I don't know, but I had anxiety before.
Yeah.
The panics then I experienced, it looks like I would be like, no, you don't know my panic attacks. But I found out the nothing was working. Probably cold shower, very cold, what is not easy to do in Mexico. But when I was in Europe, jumping on a sea on the winter, it fixed me.
You know what that does? That's Wim Hof, right?
Yes, I love him. I lived many years on Holland.
Yeah,
it is, and cold shower. Like, I am so sorry that I hear my cold shower is like 1/4 of my cold shower in Europe, because all the water are it's everything is hot here.
Totally. They're amazing. But the thing is like with the breath, it is a trained thing. You have to train. It's not like I could say, oh, Rita, just breathe. If you haven't practiced it for long periods of time, it's not going to work. So don't get me wrong.
Just relax. Why are you just relax?
I know. No.
You cannot explain. Friend, imagine that you have a gun on your heads. Think about the most stressful moment of your life. I remember a specific day, then I found one of my kids. We had stairs, and the stairs on top had like little bars, and he was on the other side of the bar. So he was hanging on the other side of the bars.
I've had nightmares about that.
I remember to see that and walk very slowly. I remember and the adrenaline. So one of the reasons, and now I'm going to do a very big shift, or I don't eat meat. I don't eat meat I'm not vegan. I eat fish and I eat seafood, but I don't eat meat for quite some time, almost 5, 6 years.
Wow.
Or I did not start buying because of that, but I always question. Imagine these cows and these pigs watching the other cows and other pigs being killed in front of them. The level of hormones that
Yes.
release in their body, the fear
Yeah.
hormone, the disgusting, maybe the fishes as well, but it's
Yeah.
just you are eating fear.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about this, but like
No.
you don't like give something for them to sleep on the night, right? And die
Yeah.
with that. They
Yeah.
see their friends, their company, they are watching, they know what is coming from them. You don't get more stress than that.
No.
You always
No.
ask, even before I stop eating meat, like, what are we eating?
Yeah. But that's a really good point, because it's like you can't just practice it in one way, right? You're practicing it in all ways, how you sleep, how you eat, how you think. Like it's
Everything.
yeah. Yeah, you can't, like you say, try one thing on and then try the other thing off.
And you need to embrace it as well. You need to talk with your body.
Yeah.
Understand, my love, what is going on? Why are you
Yeah.
so stressed?
Yeah.
What is hurting you? So
Yeah.
you can have a sincere and be thankful. Thank you for bringing me this insight in this panic, because you just want to
Yeah.
protect me and make me move from one situation to the other.
Yeah.
And
When you move into that gratitude state, like what you do is just, it's incredible, because the lady who taught me hypnotherapy, she had this beautiful metaphor for the mind as a garden. And you had the ability to accept or reject anything you want, right? And so if you did accept it, it felt like these thoughts that you bring into your mind fall through like rain and into the ground, and they water certain things. So if you have negative thoughts all the time, you're going to get tons of weeds. And if you get positive things, then it's flowers, right? So the way to combat the negativity, the negative space, the panic attacks, all this stuff, right, is to chip away at it with only feeding positive things. And gratitude is a massive, massive positive thing.
Gratitude, you have no fear, right? Gratitude don't combine with panic or fear. Gratitude don't combine with hate.
No, they can't coexist. Yeah. And in gratitude, you're already thanking the universe or whatever that you're in the space that you need to be in.
Just being, I said something beautiful the other day to the person that I am in love with. I always do what I'm grateful for in the morning.
Yeah.
Do my tapping. I have a tapping routine. I do that, and I do some cool meditations that I was talking. That is kind of business wise versus energy wise,
Yeah.
creatrix or whatever.
Yeah.
Modern witch, whatever, beautiful. I don't know, goddess, whatever. Mix all with cocktail. But I said to him, I'm grateful for your breathing.
Yes. You chunked it down. Yes. Yes.
I'm grateful that you are next to me and you are breathing. And my heart was beating even before my mom had me, like 6 weeks into her pregnancy, my heart was beating.
Yeah.
I had no hands and I had no feet and I had no,
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's still here. What the hell?
Yeah.
Lucky I am.
The heart is amazing. And you know, what you've done is stripped away every narrative of what a relationship is supposed to be like, and got back down to what's really important. And that's the thing with hypnosis, is there's no narratives in the subconscious mind. The peace is amazing. It's just an amazing thing. When you talk about that specifically, what do you think got you to that point where you lost all the narrative and you're like, I just appreciate your breath in this moment?
Because the way then I fell in love for him, the way that I love him now, I love him on the moments then we are, not for what we will be or what we have been.
Yeah.
I learned, I did not move to Mexico. I came to Mexico. I always tell this story to think about moving here with my full family. And I did arrive home. On a sense that I grew up in Africa, and I have been, after my 19th birthday, I have been living in Europe, and I did not know how much I missed the simple things in life.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a lucky bastard because I'm this kind of person who's happy with simple things.
Yeah.
I'm a minimalist. Please don't, people thinking minimalist is people don't like to spend money. I like to spend money in experience, quality of life.
Yeah.
So in Mexico, in a city that is the third most safe city in the world, and is Merida, and he allowed me to have a beautiful apartment for $400 with a view. That for me, quality of living. And it was because everything became such a moment, and so I live so much on the moment.
Yeah.
I never did look so much to the stars and the moon and had like deeply conversations with people about the stars and the moon and the constellations and the energy and this and that. And it was full moon yesterday, and this morning the sun was coming up. I was walking and the sun was on the side and the moon was on the other. And I was happy.
Yeah.
I was happy. And coming back to you, I found out when I said that to him, then that was my vision. Like, we are together on this moment, and this makes me happy now. I'm happy now. I'm not when we have a car, not when we have a house, not when we have. I decide I'm happy, like us on this moment. I'm deeply happy in being here with you, talking about happiness mindsets, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone, and especially in Occidental culture, you are always on the next money, and then what is the that you have, and then what is the iPhone then you have, and then it comes out a new iPhone, everyone goes and buy. I was like, no way, no way. I lost my phone, and we bought a very cheap one. What I struggle and stress me out, what is my phone? I wish people could understand what is to be happy with simple things. I think my secret is I grew up in an island who had nothing. My parents had money, but you had nothing to buy, and money had no value. So so then it's not.
I think we all dream of that.
Yes, I was talking this morning about that. My mom used to go to the market with soap, and my parents had a lot of money, but you could not buy anything. It was an island. I had no chocolates when I was an adult until today. Sometimes I shopping for me, and now and then I'm alone. I shopping for myself, not for the full family. And I buy stuff, and I really I can eat a full box of cookies alone. And it's my inner child. I had nothing. And I don't say I had nothing because my parents were poor of me. No, did not exist. It was one pint per week. And if you did want something, like you beg for someone to bring you some chocolate, and you eat one M&M's a day, chocolate melt in your mouth because you don't have more of it. You enjoy the moment. I'm talking a lot. This should be about you. And we are
No, that's okay. Because I love how you said that, because we're talking about gas prices here. We're like $2 a liter here. It's just I don't know what that is in gallons, but it's insane. We're like the highest in North America. So what's happening is no one's driving. Everyone's like, what are you going to cut back? What are you going to cut back? What are you going to give up? And I thought, no, like it's maybe it's showing us what's more important. Right?
Oh yeah.
Because you don't have to go to do
COVID
things.
has that as well. If you decide how you want to look to the pandemic,
Yeah.
for me, special, I'm suffering a lot, but in many points, but for me, special was the opportunity to become the dream person that I want. And I have been
100%. Yeah.
I love what I do. You can see, right? I
Yeah.
love what I do. I love my clients. I go and I like wake up in the middle of the night with an idea, and it's not even for me, it's for them. Because imagine, I said,
Yeah.
okay, I want to help millions of people. I'm
Mhm.
41 now, so I want to go faster. How I do, I found gift women who can go and help more people, and I amplify these roots of this tree.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think it's a genius way to do it. And I'm so proud of myself because of that. And then I found people as you who have this gift. And I need to ask you, so in what you coach in your app where you are working it, I don't know if it is ready, you will learn self-hypnosis, how it is.
Oh, self-hypnosis is just like, self-hypnosis is brilliant because I'll think to myself, well, what do I need to work on today? Right. And it's so simple. It's just those 3 deep, easy breaths. And then you count yourself down. Right. And then you have an intention. So the difference between hypnosis and meditation is meditation's about not focusing on anything. It's supposed to be about clearing the mind with an intention, right? Intention of, I don't know, whatever, right? It's supposed to be. But hypnosis is about a focus on one thing. So the trick is get clear about what you want before you do this, right? And let's say I want to feel happiness, right? And so when you do this, you take the 3 deep, easy breaths, you count yourself down from 10 down to 1, and you're feeling your body just let go. It's the point of surrender. And you do surrender really, really well, by the way. It's just about letting go of crap, letting go of narratives, and the body goes to sleep and the mind gets super clear. And so you ask your subconscious, what do I need to be happy?
I have a quote that I listen for someone in a training, then I feel then it can like help us talking a little bit about become the person who took ownership of the result before you had any clue how to get the result.
Yeah.
I always say then your why is like a GPS, on the sense then more clear and detailed is what you want, more easy you arrive to the address. If you just say I want to live in the United States, it takes you somewhere. Nothing. If you say I want to live in Merida, Mexico, in the north part, in a safe place with this view and blah blah blah, you'll get there, right?
Yeah. And the trick is to get super clear on that, visualize it, right? Because that's the brain making those neural pathways, and then let it go. Let it go. And the only thing that you're keeping in mind is that feeling. How did you feel when you were there? How did you feel when you visualized it? You know, and what does that mean to you? And that's it. You don't have to do anything else. You just have to let it go. Because the intention and the way you live your life that's like a compass, right? The details just help you get super clear on the emotion. And that's where it goes back to Joe Dispenza, because it goes from thinking to doing to being, right? So the thinking, the thoughts create the emotions. It's the emotions that create those beautiful brain states from a physical point of view. And then from an experience point of view, you're there. Like one of my favorite things to do with people when I do the coach thing is with hypnosis is I'll get them to visualize. let's say they want a goal, like they want to, I don't know, they're a runner and they want to run a 8-second mile or 9-second mile. I don't know, whatever, right? Or 100 meters. That's it. Sorry, mile. Wouldn't that be great? So let's say they want that, right? And okay, great. When do you want it? Right? Perfect. Okay, let's close your eyes down. Let's picture you there. And then we're also going to add in all the feelings of something that would feel like it. So let's say you won the race. What is another point in your life where you felt that accomplished, where it was like, oh my gosh, blow my mind, right? And then you just do that. You just marry the two.
Because I create a system, then everyone loves. And all my courses, if you are going to work with me, everyone start here.
Yeah.
Instead of doing a vision board, we do a board of achievements.
Yes, yes.
You did in your life, not necessarily in your career, since you are born, the time that you punch the bully, the time I laughed so hard, laughing and achievements. The time when you did something, like you did a dance move and everyone was copying you. At the time when you dropped the mic, the time, the time. I don't know, or something that makes you laugh until you cannot handle more. Like the first time that I went I climbed a tree. I had my dad to pick me up. Then I didn't need to jump to him, and I was stuck on the middle of the way by my underwear. It was so that always will be on my mind. And
my gosh.
The board of achievements, for example, and have that visually near you. For example, I was sick and I managed to be okay and rent this apartment. So I have the rent of the apartment, the bill paid in front of me to remember. Then even through all the stress and emotional stress that I was doing, I managed to pull that off. So board of achievements is my exercise. It's really interesting that you are saying that. Because remember who you are, who you have been, what did you do? Because sometimes when you want to have 1,000 followers and you have 10, it's so far away. But if you remember other things than you did, like for us women, if we bury kids, like it's 9 months, 14 weeks of our life. It's amazing that we managed to do so many things. Oh my God, I could be talking with you for hours and hours and hours. And on the end, again, this conversation was not so much about the business, but was about being real and raw and having and
that's what it's all about, Rita. I don't care what you do. If you're real, right? If you're using the gift that you were put here for, right, then that's what it's all about. It's funny because I'll be 50 in 6 months, right? I'm so excited.
Look, when I did 30, I'm 41. When I did 39, I'm lying. When I did 29, I cried. Cried for 3 long days. Life was ending. Then when I did 40 and now 41, I'm always celebrating. And sometimes I listen oh, I want to look like you when I'm your age. That irritates me a little bit. But then that, I feel amazing. I feel much better emotionally, even if I'm into a crisis in this moment. I feel much better emotionally with my age than I was feeling when I was 20. So.
And this is the beauty of when you're doing hypnosis timeline stuff, you can take people back, kind of like your vision board, and you can, they're having a rough time with this. It's like, hey, you now, what would you tell a 35-year-old Rita?
I normally ask that. What did you tell? Okay, so answer me. Go back 10 years. You want to to yourself 10 years ago.
I love it when people do it to me because I don't do it enough. I don't do it enough to myself.
No, I know.
What would I tell myself?
So
you know what? It's all about have faith. have faith.
Faith
Like
in yourself or faith in then you are
everything.
okay.
Because I used to see myself as a very, you talk about some dark nights of the soul. Whew, whew, girl.
I
Get
don't
there.
see we cannot be sisters without dark nights on the soul.
Oh, I
We need
am
to
telling you.
we need to cross that way.
Yeah, I know what the floor looks like.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, me too. I cried many times. But you
Yeah.
know, like technically, when you are so in desperation mode, laying down on the ground is the most safe thing you can do to you because
Isn't that funny?
you cannot go under that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bed, you can fall from the bed, but from on the ground, it's
Yeah.
really interesting.
And yeah, and I think the other one too is like just I don't know, it's just that it's all going to be okay. Like
Yeah,
even when stuff sucks, like really bad, it's still going to be okay because I'm going to get out of this what I need to get out of it. And the purpose will be revealed at some point, because now I can honestly say, and I couldn't say this for the longest time, some of the toughest things that happened to me, and they were pretty crappy, I would never give them up.
oh,
Never.
it's always
Yeah. Oh my God.
I deeply and completely love and respect and forgive myself. But I need to say, point one, everything was my responsibility. Even the things
Yes.
to me,
Yes.
it's my responsibility how I handle them.
Yeah.
And I am the F in control. I'm trying to not swear a lot of it. So and then extra is just I used to ask again, mindset. I used to ask my people, okay, you are scared of posting. What is the worst thing can happen? But the mindset is that, what is the worst scenario? What can happen to me? I can die. That is the worst scenario. I can die.
Yeah.
Okay, if I die. What can I do? It's my time. I need to go. But what is the worst thing can happen?
Yeah, I'm going to flip that. I'm going to reframe that. I'm going to do a hypno thing on you.
What is the best?
Prepared is good.
What
but
is
how good could it go, Rita?
How good? What else
How
is
good?
How good can be?
Good could it go, sister? Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my God. High five to that. High five to
because we're in the good, and that's the beauty of the 40s, man. I love the 40s.
Oh, I'm in love. I want to see how sexy and beautiful I'm going to be when I'm 60.
Yeah,
I'm 100% sure I will be like red port wine. Just get better with the age. I'm
totally
100% sure. I'm 100% sure, and I think I saw myself already there. I think in these trauma moments, I have this theory that this moment is always happening, and you can go back in time just to hold yourself.
Oh, quantum. I'm all over quantum physics.
I believe in that.
Yeah.
I believe in. I pass for the things, and I always come because the other older version of me go back in time, say, "Girl, I have it back. Look, I'm okay."
Totally. And you know what? Honestly, when I do that timeline work with people and they go back, I honestly think that they energetically change stuff, that they really do, right? And from an energetic point of view, from a change in your perspective point of view, from changing your mindset point of view. And then, you know what the beautiful thing is when you can go back and you can get a different perspective at that time, and then you ripple effect it way out in someone's future. Oh, like it's just, and then see what changes, right? And they just light up. Like these are people in hypnosis and they light up.
Body language change.
Oh,
right?
I just love it. Like their whole face changes. And, you know, I have intuition to a certain point, but I'm telling you, you can just see it. Like I can feel the emotion coming off. The electromagnetic piece. It's just amazing. So
how people can find you?
Yeah.
We have been trying to share the links as well, but just say it for in case then someone is just
yes. So they can just go to my website. So it's breathehypnotherapy.ca. So .ca is the important part. And then they can email me if they like. It's just Sherri@breathehypnotherapy.ca, and just reach out if they had a question or whatever. I'm in person if they're actually on Vancouver Island, but so I have I'm at a clinic here, and I'm working on the app, that's going to be coming out soon. I was just working on some more last night. It's just so exciting. There's tools I'm going to have. So just a quick little thing. It's going to be a quick little first aid kit. It's for first responders for trauma, right? Because I've been through, I started out my career very, very young as a ambulance attendant as a teenager, and just a little volunteer ambulance thing. And some of the stuff you see, you don't realize affects you, right? And going forward, some of the stuff I saw in the hospital and then, in sleep and everything, I understand what they're going through. So I wanted to create a little go-to app that they could access anytime they wanted. So the focus is giving them a mental shield that they can go into work with. They can access quickly when they're having a moment and they got to decompress. And then at the end, how to shift their mindset back into their personal life so that they can be present there, because they cannot be present in their personal lives when they're going through stuff in their head. So there's that's coming out. But yeah, that's it for now. Just in person here and on my website. I do online hypnotherapy is amazing. Mm-hmm.
For now, because maybe we can work together and make this much bigger and much.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine?
Oh, I know already. It's not the point. I know it already. Great. Thank you so much. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. I'm so proud of myself to be connecting with these beautiful women that I'm bringing in. It's such an amazing experience. And we are going to say bye to you guys because we have things to chat without people to listen.
Okay.
So guys, welcome to this podcast. Please follow, comment, show your love. Then this is made with loads of love. And we are going to be here back very soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.